Rose. I'm David Jacoby. We are Jalen and Jacoby. What is it that we do?
We give the people what they want.
There is some curious happenings in Cleveland regarding Odell Beckham Jr. We'll get to that, but we start with the game that you were in the building for in Brooklyn. Two of the East's best. The Hawks were in town to take on that man, Kevin Durant, and Kevin Durant put on a show, but he wasn't alone. Jalen, what do you take away from this contest between two of the best in the East?
First and foremost, James Harden still looks basically like the player I saw against the Milwaukee Bucks, hobbling, trying to recover from a hamstring injury. I can literally see, now when you're at the game, you can see and hear everything. You get a chance to see and talk to everybody, right? And so that hamstring is something that he's still trying to recover from. So what you see is him trying to pick and choose his spots. Mm-hmm. So he had 0 points, probably like 8 or 9 assists, and right before the half, go between the legs, big three. You know, they up double digits, get a couple of shots in the second half. The other thing is, I love how they was moving KD around. Down screens for KD, curl, elbow shot, backdoor cut, dunk, getting into him in transition. But the key for this team early, and they've relying on him so heavily, and he's delivered, LaMarcus Aldridge. Have you noticed he has the best jump shot percentage of any player in the NBA so far this season?
Well, they always talk about the mid-range is dead, and DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge are like, okay, fine. If you guys are just going to guard the three-point line and layups, well, then I'll just make a living in between.
And I'm glad you went there, because those two players also expanded their games. And they both now can also shoot threes. And this is, for example, a player like Ben Simmons playing on the perimeter. As you advance in your career, those are the type of things you hope to keep adding to your game. But on the other side, DeAndre Hunter was balling too.
Yeah.
He was making threes. I think he was 5 for 5 in the first half. So it was a good win for the Nets. Trae Young struggled from the floor. And it was good to see the Nets get a win against a Hawks team that I felt like going into the game, and I was saying it to you, I was like, disappointed at what I saw with the Nets early. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I was like, the Hawks on their heels. But when I'm standing in the gym and I looked at KD is really 7 foot tall, I'm like,
they'll be fine.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
Well, you said that you wouldn't pick the Nets to win the East unless they had Kyrie Irving, and there is a small, minuscule piece of news regarding that. The mayor-elect Eric Adams has said that he might revisit the COVID vaccines. And if I'm the Nets, I'm like, Mr. Mayor-elect, please be quiet, because we want him to get vaccinated, because mayors who haven't gotten into office yet, they say all kinds of things that don't actually end up happening. But do you think this will change Kyrie's approach to getting vaccinated or not?
I believe he's going to play this season. Whether it's because he gets vaccinated, which we've talked about, and I anticipate, I just hope that it happens during the holiday season.
I think he's already vaccinated. He's in the three-week period right now where he's not double vaccinated.
Hopefully he's in the giving season. Give NBA fans back the between the leg, behind the back left hand. I just need that back in my life. With that being said, I agree with you. Because you're the mayor and you say you want to do something, we all know politicians don't always do what they say.
Exactly.
But this could be something that helps his popularity a lot. They're also about that as well. So I believe it's something he can do, he will do, because he put it out there.
Jalen, two more teams in the Eastern Conference that have championship or at least playoff aspirations. The Bulls, who are hot just out of the gate, and the 76ers faced off. And Joel Embiid and Seth Curry said, we don't need Ben Simmons.
Well, the thing I also took away from, we just talked about it. That's a terrific block by Joel Embiid late in the game. Mm-hmm. But you know what we probably should be showing? DeMar DeRozan did that same move earlier in the game, and he reverse dunked it.
Well, you know what I mean? Like, that was actually called a foul and got reversed.
Right. And so, like, I like what I've seen from his game this year. DeMar DeRozan's been killing. But Curry's been the person that they've relied on to make big shots in Philly. And on paper, as you start to build the team, his role has now become more important because he's a dead-eye shooter that's improved his ball handling, and now all of a sudden he's went from being like a specialist to somebody that they can rely on to make big shots, and that's what he did in this game.
Yeah, he's no longer just a spot-up, catch-and-shoot three-point shooter. He's playmaking for others. He's driving. He's doing a lot. It's good to see him progress because he's always been looked at as not Steph Curry, Seth Curry. But you mentioned DeRozan, and DeRozan has been absolutely on fire this season for the new look Chicago Bulls. When you look at his numbers of what he's done this season, he's got a few games in the 30s. There's the reverse dunk you were talking about. Do you think he can maintain this kind of productivity throughout the full season?
Absolutely, because of how he's getting it.
Talk to me.
Do you see them hanging on the rim? Did you just see those dunks? Show those dunks again. Okay, that's the answer to your question. Ain't nothing wrong with his wheels. That's the whole thing. Like he always was an elite scorer, a 20-plus point scorer. He added the three. He got stronger. He improved his ball handling. Now he finishing at the rim. It's great to see how he flourishing in Chicago. Look at that bang, bang, Siegel Street on the baseline.
It's not just mid-range jumpers like it was in Toronto. And I think because he was in San Antonio, people weren't really paying attention to his productivity. But now that he's on the New Look Bulls, they're winning early in the season. Everyone's paying attention to them. And he is 4th in the league in scoring. And I think he's going to stay around there for the full season. Hopefully he stays healthy. Jalen, we got some strange news yesterday regarding a game that a lot of us had circled on the calendar between the Packers and the Chiefs. Do you know who's not going to be participating in that game? A gentleman by the name of Aaron Rodgers that we spent all summer talking about. Do you remember Adams was out, Lazard was out with COVID, and Aaron Rodgers tested positive for COVID. And in August, he said he was immunized, which is different than vaccinated. Apparently there's some procedure that he was trying to get the same sort of protocol as being vaccinated, but it wasn't a vaccine. What do you make of all this weird news coming out of Green Bay?
I'm disappointed in the NFL. I'm disappointed in the Green Bay Packers. And I'm clearly most disappointed in Aaron Rodgers. Dog, you out here unvaxxed, all up in people's faces.
Acting like he's vaccinated too.
Like,
what was the immunization tech? What did they do? Did he have a seance? Did he burn some sage? Did he go to a tarot card reader? Like, what is this procedure that he wanted to be the equivalent of vaccinated?
How many times has a human being not felt their best? And they say, you know what, I probably shouldn't give you a hug. I probably shouldn't shake your hand. I probably shouldn't get close to you because I'm sick. I'm not feeling my best. You out here unvaccinated, and you know it. You should at least consider wearing a mask. And you know these cameras work, right?
Yeah.
So now we're going to continue to show footage of this man standing here knowing he unvaccinated. To me, this is the equivalent of like somebody having an STD and not telling their partner.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Like, this is foul.
Illegal.
Yeah, this is foul to me.
And remember the Halloween party, dancing to Pooh Shiesty, dressed up as John Wick? Like, when you look back at all of his behaviors, knowing what we know now and knowing that he tested positive, and again, I'm going to say what I said yesterday, this really is a big day for Jordan Love. Jordan Love has the opportunity to establish himself as a true threat to become the next starting quarterback of the Packers, or if he falls on his face, who knows what happens.
Let me drill this down a little more. So CeeDee Lamb gets fined 4 or 5 times because his jersey was untucked, right? I need to see Aaron Rodgers disciplined for this. He need to be missing some football games.
It puts the league in a very interesting position because he clearly was violating protocol.
Correct. And so if you don't discipline him and you don't punish him, that mutes everything we've ever said about the COVID protocols in the NFL.
It sends a message to the rest of the league. It's like, not everyone's going to be treated equally, especially in sports. The more productive players get more rope. But in this case, they are forced to hand some sort of discipline down, whether it's fines or suspensions or whatever, because of his violation of protocol.
You got to miss a couple games.
I hope Jordan Love is getting lots of rest. I hope he's studying the playbook because he's got a big day on Sunday. And the Chiefs are looking at this like, hey, maybe we can get right. We put up a win against the Packers after beating the Giants on Monday night. Maybe we're right.
Hey, dog, you out here breathing your hot breath in people's face knowing you unvaxxed. Come on, man. Come on.
Moving on to some other